No fear, no doubt, trust in the Lord. Cut away, make your heart restore. Heavy load we carry long, but His light go make us strong. No more running, no disguise. Circumcise your heart, arise. No be strength, no be might. Now His hand they show the light. Step by step we hold on tight. Faith go guide us through the night. No wahala we go there. No fear, no shaker. Faith will guide us through the night. God damn it, Santan. Be net to back over the night. Be just a baby vision. Tap okay, meet this rent. No more money, no vision. Keep on a book of Kenakwa. No more money, the dealer. Keep it shown here, brother man. My belly. Oh, Vibekele. No fear, no doubt, trust in the Lord. Cut away, make your heart restore. Heavy load we carry long, but His light go make us strong. No more running, no disguise. Circumcise your heart, arise. No be strength, no be might. Now His hand they show the light. Step by step we hold on tight. Faith go guide us through the night. No wahala we go there. No fear, no shake.
In the long, tumultuous history of black struggle in America and across the globe, one name stands taller than most, not just for what he said, but for what he built. W.E.B. Dubois, scholar, activist, editor, strategist, revolutionary. He laid the intellectual and organizational foundation for the modern civil rights movement. He lived for nearly a century, evolving through eras, from Reconstruction to Jim Crow, from the Harlem Renaissance to African decolonization. His pen was sharp, his vision was global, and his legacy is unmatched. This is the story of W.E.B. Dubois, the father of the modern civil rights movement. William Edward Burghardt Dubois was born in 1868 in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, just 5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Raised in a predominantly white town, he experienced less direct racism than many of his peers in the South, but he quickly became aware of his difference and of the color line that divided American life. Dubois graduated high school in 1884 and enrolled at Fisk University in Tennessee, a black school founded during Reconstruction. There he witnessed the deep poverty, terror, and humiliation Southern black people faced daily. That experience radicalized him. He went on to earn a second bachelor's degree from Harvard University in 1890, a master's in 1891, and then studied abroad at the University of Berlin, training under Europe's top scholars. In 1895, he became the first black person to earn a PhD from Harvard. His dissertation, The Suppression of the African Slave Trade, became his first book and the beginning of a lifelong mission to write black truth into history. He believed education and rigorous scholarship could uplift black people and challenge racist thinking, but he would soon learn that truth alone would not be enough. In 1899, Dubois published The Philadelphia Negro, the first sociological study of a black community in the US. It used data, interviews, and fieldwork to prove that poverty wasn't due to race, but to racism. But his true breakthrough came in 1903 with The Souls of Black Folk, a piercing collection of essays that still speaks today. He coined the idea of double consciousness, the feeling of always seeing yourself through the eyes of a hostile society. And in that same book, he called out Booker T. Washington. Washington preached patience and vocational training. He told black people to earn their rights by cooperating with white power. Dubois called it what it was, accommodation. He believed in protest, full civil rights, higher education, and fighting back. In 1905, Dubois co-founded the Niagara Movement, demanding full political and civil rights for black Americans. This movement laid the foundation for what came next. In 1909, Dubois helped create the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, which would become the most powerful civil rights organization in the United States. He served as its only black founding officer and took on the role of editor for its official magazine, The Crisis, starting in 1910. Through it, Dubois reached hundreds of thousands of black readers every month. He published poetry, political essays, news from across the country, and scathing attacks on racism and lynching. It became the voice of Black America. It gave artists like Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston their first national exposure. It called out presidents, white mobs, and even other Black leaders. Through the crisis, Du Bois shaped the entire conversation on race in America. And through the NAACP, he built the infrastructure that would later fuel the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. As World War I broke out, Du Bois urged Black Americans to serve their country, believing that loyalty would prove their right to full citizenship. But when Black soldiers returned home, they were met with violence. The Red Summer of 1919 saw race riots erupt across the country. Du Bois responded with fire. We return from fighting. We return fighting. He wrote those words in The Crisis, calling on Black veterans to demand justice. He recognized that the war had changed everything, and that Black Americans were ready to fight for their place in the world. In the 1920s, another powerful voice emerged in Black politics, one Du Bois couldn't ignore: Marcus Garvey. Garvey was a Jamaican-born activist who electrified Black communities with a bold message: Black pride, Black business, Black independence, and Black repatriation to Africa. His organization, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, became the largest mass movement in Black history at the time. Garvey held rallies that drew tens of thousands, built Black-owned businesses, and even launched a shipping company called the Black Star Line, designed to reconnect Black people across the diaspora. To many, Garvey was a prophet. To Du Bois, he was a problem. Du Bois initially praised Garvey's energy, but as Garvey's rhetoric grew more authoritarian, Du Bois became alarmed. Garvey wore military uniforms, crowned himself the Provisional President of Africa. He claimed he would build an all-Black empire, and in a shocking move, he met with the Ku Klux Klan because they shared a desire to separate the races. That was the final straw. Du Bois called Garvey the most dangerous enemy of the Negro race in America. He accused him of fraud, egotism, and misleading millions of Black people with fantasy rather than strategy. In the crisis, Du Bois launched scathing editorials against Garvey, warning Black readers not to fall for messianic leadership or false promises of salvation. Garvey responded by calling Du Bois a white man's Negro, a snob, an elitist, and an enemy of the Black masses. Their feud wasn't just personal, it was political. Garvey represented a grassroots, emotional movement grounded in identity and mass appeal. Du Bois represented an institutional, intellectual movement grounded in policy, protest, and court battles. In many ways, they both wanted the same thing: Black freedom, but their strategies, ideologies, and images of Africa were completely different. The US government eventually arrested Garvey on mail fraud charges related to the Black Star Line. Then came his masterpiece. In 1935, Du Bois published Black Reconstruction in America, a direct challenge to the white historians who claimed Reconstruction had failed because of Black incompetence. Du Bois told the truth. Black people built governments, created public education, fought for civil rights, and were violently overthrown when white power saw its grip slipping. He called it a counter-revolution of property. White America didn't fail Reconstruction, it destroyed it. By the 1910s and 20s, Du Bois understood something most American leaders still didn't. The Black struggle in the US was not isolated. It was part of a global system, a system of empire, exploitation, and white domination that stretched across the Atlantic. He wrote, "The problem of the 20th century is the problem of the color line, not just in Georgia, but in Ghana, Jamaica, Kenya, and the Congo." In 1919, just after World War I, Du Bois helped organize the first Pan-African Congress in Paris. He demanded that African colonies, then under the control of Britain, France, Belgium, and others, be given the right to self-govern. He called out the hypocrisy of white nations talking about freedom while holding millions of Black people in chains. White leaders ignored him, but Du Bois kept organizing. Throughout the 1920s, he held more congresses. He brought together African, Caribbean, and African American thinkers, creating an international network of Black resistance. Then came the turning point. In 1945, just after World War II, Du Bois, now in his late 70s, co-organized the 5th Pan-African Congress in Manchester, England, and this time The world was finally ready to listen. Young revolutionaries were in the room. Kwame Nkrumah from the Gold Coast, Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, Amy Ashwood Garvey, George Padmore, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Winnie Mandela's mentor, and others who would soon lead Africa's independence movements. That Congress didn't just pass resolutions, it ignited revolutions. The Manchester Congress became the blueprint for the decolonization of Africa and the Caribbean. Though older by the time of the modern civil rights movement, Dubois remained deeply involved. The 1954 Supreme Court ruling in Brown versus Board of Education marked a major turning point, ending legal segregation in public schools. Dubois supported the decision and recognized it as the fulfillment of decades of struggle he helped lead. Though no longer at the center of legal battles, his early work made them possible. He had laid the intellectual and organizational groundwork for the NAACP's legal strategy. Dubois' ideas about global black unity, political independence, and cultural pride became action in Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and beyond. He didn't just attend history, he inspired it. When Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence in 1957, President Kwame Nkrumah personally invited Dubois to come live there. He called Dubois the spiritual father of African liberation. In 1961, Dubois and his wife Shirley left the United States permanently and moved to Accra. There, at nearly 93 years old, he began work on an Encyclopedia Africana to document African knowledge, culture, and contributions from an African point of view. Dubois died in Ghana on August 27, 1963. The next day, as he was being laid to rest in African soil, hundreds of thousands of Black Americans marched in Washington, D.C., fighting for civil rights in the country that had exiled him. W.E.B. Dubois lived in the shadow of slavery, fought through the age of Jim Crow, and sparked the fire that brought empires crashing down. He didn't just build institutions, he built a movement that stretched across continents. His life linked the Black American struggle with African liberation. Africa must rise and take her place among the great nations of the world. W.E.B. Dubois. Thanks for watching. If you found this story insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue uncovering the hidden truths of history. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.
No fear, no doubt, trust in the Lord. Cut away, make your heart restore. Heavy load we carry long, but His light go make us strong. No more running, no disguise. Circumcise your heart, arise. No be strength, no be might. Now His hand they show the light. Step by step we hold on tight. Faith go guide us through the night. No wahala we go there. No fear, no shaker. Faith go guide us through the night. Lord, I'm a santan. Bine to take over the night. Bine to take baby vision. Tap okay, meet this rent. No more money, no vision. Keep on a book of Kena. No more money, the dealer. Keep it shown here, brother man. My bedroom. Oh, V-Bekele. No fear, no doubt, trust in the Lord. Cut away, make your heart restore. Heavy load we carry long, but His light go make us strong. No more running, no disguise. Circumcise your heart, arise. No be strength, no be might. Now His hand they show the light. Step by step we hold on tight. Faith go guide us through the night.